Hey there, how's it going? My name's Ruby, and let's have a look at what's making news today. First up, we're going to talk about something upsetting that happened in Sri Lanka over the weekend. You might have already heard about it or seen it on the news. On Easter Sunday, bombs went off in 8 different parts of the country. Hundreds of people died and a lot more were injured. Since then, police have made some arrests, and people from all around the world have been coming together to show their support for people in Sri Lanka.
These were the cities where the 8 bombings happened. 6 of them were in Sri Lanka's capital, Colombo. Terrorists targeted Christian churches where people were gathered for Easter Sunday congregations, as well as some hotels. Emergency services rushed to help, and at least 40 people have already been arrested. World leaders have condemned the attacks and say we need to stand together. And Sri Lanka's president declared a national day of mourning. It's completely normal to feel overwhelmed by news like this, but there are some things to remember to help yourself to feel better. Events like this are in the news because they don't happen very often. Whenever there's something bad happening, you can be sure there are always good people there trying to help. It's okay to switch off if you need to. It doesn't mean you don't care. Sharing how you feel or asking questions if you have some is important too. So talk to your parents, teacher, or your friends about what's worrying you. Or you can call the kids' helpline. Simply talking about it might help you feel better.
Thanks for that, Liv. And now let's move on to some lighter stuff. This is Volodymyr Zelensky. He's the new president of Ukraine. But up until recently, he was best known for being an actor who played the role of the president of Ukraine on a TV show. Apparently, Ukrainians thought he did a good enough job at acting the part to do it in real life. It's not the first time a celebrity's landed a job running a country either. Recently, famous cricketer Imran Khan was elected Prime Minister of Pakistan. And don't forget, US President Donald Trump was once the star of his own reality TV show.
Bradford, you're fired.
Oh my God.
When your shampoo or conditioner runs out, I'm guessing you probably just chuck the bottles into the recycling bin. Up in Queensland, a retired hairdresser is doing something much cooler with them.
These old bottles are being turned into prosthetic limbs, and Hayley and Connor are the first in line to test them out. Both of these young Aussies were born without part of their left arm, and sometimes that's been hard for them.
I've been called a lot of names, like one hand freak and all that.
Now they're hoping they'll be able to do some of the things they've missed out on before.
Being able to try new things like people with 2 arms can do.
Skipping, tying my hair and more things.
Bernie decided to use recycled plastics to make the arms when he saw how much waste hair salons produce. Now he shreds and melts down used shampoo bottles and turns them into 3D printing materials. Bernie says it takes around 20 bottles to make one hand, and he's hoping that in the future it'll make it cheaper for kids like Hayley and Connor to have access to this kind of tech.
And now it's time for a segment called The Things We Do for Our Mates. Adelaide Crows forward Eddie Betts has just capped off his 300th AFL match, but that wasn't exactly the result his brother-in-law and good mate Tom had been hoping for. You see, before the match, Tom and Eddie made a bet that if Eddie scored more than 5 goals, Tom would get a tattoo of Eddie's face on his bottom.
Can't wait.
Well, Eddie scored 6 goals, including this Goal of the Year contender.
Yes! You're a magician!
And Tom followed through.
Bet the bet.
That's the bet.
If you're wondering why this doesn't look exactly like Eddie, the tat is actually based on a character from a kid's book that he released this year. This is Digby, and he is the UK's very first guide horse. Yeah, like a guide dog, except in miniature horse form. He took a ride on the subway to help him get used to the sights and sounds of the city, as he preps for a career helping his partially blind mate get around. And check out these sassy gorillas posing for a selfie. The ranger in this photo is one of 600 who patrol this national park in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Mountain gorillas are critically endangered, so it makes sense that these guys are good buddies. And that is the show for today, guys. But just a reminder, if you're feeling upset about anything that you've seen, you can watch the video that we've put together about upsetting news just here. I'll catch you next time.